Hi, I'm Kristen,
And I'm Jennifer.
and we're the hosts of Haunted or Hoax, a paranormal investigation podcast where we investigate the legends and history, not just the ghosts.
Our locations range from houses down in Savannah, Georgia, murder houses in the Midwest, to hotels in West Virginia.
Additionally, we get together and go on ghost tours and bring the legends and history to you.
Join us every Tuesday as we discuss the legends, history, and experiences from haunted locations.
Available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Bye.
Hello and welcome to Mums, Mysteries and Murder. I'm Marty.
And I'm Effie.
And nothing of any importance has gone on this week, has it?
Not at all.
We shouldn't laugh. It's been a very long week in Scotland, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been very eventful.
It's been a whole week now, hasn't it, since the Queen died?
Has it been?
Yeah, it was Thursday.
Yeah.
Feels like it's been longer.
It's constant, 24-hour news about the Queen, isn't it? Yeah.
It was nice that Edinburgh was involved, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
She loved Scotland, didn't she?
Yeah, she died up at Balmoral, which was, her favourite place, apparently.
And you were not far from there.
I was just along the road, which was... I was staying in an Airbnb, and I looked out the window in the morning, and we saw the coffin go past.
Was that the picture that you took? Was that from your window?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, it was really nice, and it was really peaceful. It was absolutely beautiful weather as well. It's it was good timing from Her Majesty.
It was a good time. Yeah. You were very close. You were at a wedding though, weren't you?
I was at a wedding, and so the wedding was near a village called Braemar, which is very close to Balmoral, and there were lots of media outlets. Is that what you say, outlets?
Yeah.
Or retail outlets?
No, retail outlets is like H&M when you go in and buy.
ASOS is out there. Top-shop.
What is it?
Media stations.
Just media people.
Yeah, doing their coverage of the press. And yeah, we saw Princess Anne go past, and
we were just talking about
Andrew.
How glamorous Camilla looked. We
looks
couldn't
amazing.
believe it, could we?
She looks... I suppose it's like when you see famous people in person and they look way better than they look on TV, even though they look good on TV, and you're like, wow.
They always look thinner as well.
Yeah, and kind of smaller as well. They look...
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a weird week.
It's a bit sad. It feels like lots of change. And
it does feel like lots of change. We went to say goodbye, and then we got stuck on one side of the Royal Mile that I think maybe lots of people have seen, and we had to walk a very long time to get home, but it was lovely. It was lovely.
It was quite peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ding, ding. I'm just going to turn my phone off, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so that was a bit of a shock, wasn't it?
It was a massive shock, wasn't it? Oh, she's had a rough week, hasn't she?
And then the Queen dies. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she was old. But it was still a shock to everyone, I think, wasn't it?
So, yeah, because there wasn't any sort of signs that she had been really unwell.
No. And lots of really nice stories came out about her, and quotes and things. There was one quote that she'd said about she never wears beige. She always wears bright colours because
she does.
Then people will know who she is.
Oh, in case they mix her up with someone else.
That's what it was said better than that. It wasn't so people know who she is, but it was so people will know she's the Queen or something like that. I thought that was really sweet. And people are leaving marmalade sandwiches everywhere, apparently.
Really?
And everyone's getting massively pissed off about it.
What do you mean everywhere?
Just like at Buckingham Palace and like in Scotland.
And sort of random places.
Yeah, they're leaving marmalade sandwiches because the whole Paddington Bear thing.
Yeah, right.
Do people know about the Paddington Bear thing in America, do you think?
Surely. Because it was pretty
the Queen's Jubilee. Was it for the Queen's Jubilee?
Yeah,
And there was
she
a
did
big
little
celebration,
skits, yeah.
and yeah, she did a little sketch with
Yeah.
Paddington, didn't she? And they had afternoon tea together, and they had obviously a marmalade sandwich.
Yeah, which was very sweet.
It was very sweet, but it's a bit weird that people are leaving.
I know.
You do what you have to do, don't you?
Yeah, to cope with the grief.
Yeah, it's just been a really
specific.
weird week
It has been very, very odd. Yeah,
generally.
yeah. If you're not in this country, I wonder what it's like if you're like in America or Canada or something. It's kind of crazy here, isn't it?
I wonder if we do
Everything
have loads of American
shut
listeners.
down.
I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
What
do you
are
think?
you guys thinking? Yeah.
Come drop us a message on Instagram and let us know, because it's weird for us, and we know that it's going all over the world, but we don't know how much.
I know.
I know Australia's been very interested.
Yeah. But so the funeral's on Monday, and then everything is closing on Monday,
Yeah.
which is
But we had a public holiday in Scotland anyway, so I do feel a bit cheated.
I know. Yes, we did have that.
Mm.
Yeah, the schools were already off, weren't they?
And there's lots of rage because Centre Parks is closing just for the day. So people have to leave and then come back.
No.
Should we
really?
explain what Centre Parks is to American people?
Yes.
You've been to Centre
I have
Parks?
been to Centre Parks.
Right, explain, because I
So
can't.
it's
I
like-
have the rage.
Have you never been to Centre
No,
Parks?
you know how I feel about Centre Parks.
So it's like lots of little cabins inside like a forest.
Yes.
And they have, so you drive there and then you've got to leave your car in a big car park and then you walk or you
That's so
cycle
weird.
to your log cabin. And then there's like a big swimming pool, and then they've got lots of like activities for like kids to do, and like restaurants and stuff that is all like very kid friendly. But basically when it's the school holidays, like all the families go to the Centre Parks. So when it's the Scotland school holidays, the nearest Centre Park is like in the north of England. And you just see loads of like Scottish people.
What are you doing?
They're like walking around going, oh, am I going to bump into my neighbour here?
Oh, it's just
Not
like
your scene though.
No, do you know what? It feels like a very overpriced, expensive
yeah, I did see
school
that.
camp.
Like it's super expensive, but it's not that. It's not like, it feels like it's expensive.
That's because it is very expensive.
It's very expensive, yeah.
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 I don't know.
So they've
It's not
closed
my
the
thing.
Centre Parks. All right.
Yeah, they're closing it. I'm so sorry about my phone going off every 14 seconds. It's
Is
in
that an
tribute to the
alarm for
Queen.
something?
No, I don't know. It's just messages coming in. So please just ignore that. We should say as well, you will have heard a preview for Haunted or Hoax, the podcast,
Yeah.
as
Which
opposed to Haunted or Hoax, the TV show. I don't know why I said that. It is such a good podcast, isn't it?
I
You
know,
listen to
it's
it a
great.
lot.
I do. I love all the kind of haunted stuff. So yeah, it's really good. They're really interesting. Like just sort of cracking down cases and seeing
Yeah.
whether it's real or not really. So
One
as
of
the
the-
title suggests.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
it does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
But it's one of the, because I don't really listen to stuff like that. I'm a bit freaked out by stuff like that. But that one's not too bad.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's particularly scary.
Yeah.
No, it's really good, and like the guys that do it are great as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
We like that podcast. And speaking of podcasts, we have been teasing this Boo Pod collaboration a lot on Instagram. And it is going to be released in October, which is very
Exciting.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is.
No.
You're going to be just like everyone else listening.
I know.
So we're basically
Wow.
choosing, it's an area in America where lots of things have happened.
Mhm.
And what we're asking the listeners to do is to listen to different podcasts in order. So I think we're the fourth podcast in the order.
Okay.
And it's basically going to tell a long story about all the different things that have happened in this
Amazing.
weird area. So we're
Okay.
number 4. But we'll let you know about that next month. Which is very
Fantastic.
exciting.
Yeah.
And
That's
Haunted or
gonna be great.
Hoax, I think they're a part of it actually, yeah. Yes. Also, we should say a big thank you to Missy, who left us an amazing, lovely
Missy,
message.
thank you so much. That was amazing. That has made my day, that message.
That was such a good message.
I know.
And she's United States as well, isn't she?
Yeah.
We've got
Whereabouts
so
are
many
you from,
Americans.
Missy? We'd love to.
Yeah.
to
Where
you.
did we think it was?
North
Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah.
No idea where that is, but that's where we think it is.
It's above Carolina.
Hence the north.
It's a little bit up.
We would love to hear from American listeners and find out where you're listening from. That would be amazing.
Or from anyone else, from any other country.
Actually, yes. If you're listening in any country that's not the UK, please come over to Instagram at Mums, Mysteries and Murder and let us know where you're listening from, because it's always really exciting to us that, well, first, anyone's listening.
Yeah.
And second, someone from another country is actually listening.
I know. That is, I mean, it's just so cool that people are listening and taking the time to like review or like send in messages. It's so kind.
We loved your message, Missy. I've listened to it 3 times. That's very sad. We need more reviews. Before we crack on, I just want to tell you something very exciting.
Okay.
Michael Sheen has gone viral this week.
Yes, you sent me a link to that, yeah.
Did you watch it?
I did.
It has now gone
it.
viral.
It was very good.
It was amazing.
He is very good, yeah. He's got a lovely Welsh accent.
He has got a lovely Welsh accent. If you're new to this podcast, you won't know about my Michael Sheen obsession and Effie's Monty Don obsession.
I'm not quite as obsessed, I don't think, as you.
That's because Michael Sheen is far better. In so many ways.
Sorry, Monty, if you're listening.
Until Monty goes viral, I'm afraid I am the winner of that competition.
He was very impressive this week.
He was incredibly impressive. Go to Twitter and look up Michael Sheen Welsh rugby speech and you will be amazed and impressed. And then come over to Mums, Mysteries and Murder and tell us what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we've just talked a lot of bollocks.
I know.
So
let's hear what's it's yours this week.
So, yeah, this is a bit weird that I'm doing this because it's a Scottish story.
It's a good one, though.
But I was at Loch Ness earlier in the year and for the summer holidays. And I actually texted Effie and said, we haven't done the Loch Ness Monster.
No, we haven't.
And we're a Scottish mystery podcast.
I know.
Why haven't we done it?
It's like an obvious thing. I don't know.
Was it too obvious?
Do you know what? It's one of those things that, like, if you go to a different country and then someone is talking about Scotland, then they might mention Nessie, but then, like, I would never even think of it, you know?
Yeah. When it's in your own country. Although we're a Scottish podcast as well. I haven't done Ivan Milat, and I feel like that's very obvious. But I haven't done that because that's absolutely horrific and take 6 months worth of research.
Yeah. That is too heavy going.
So we're going to give Nessie a little crack. Sources are very many. Sources are CBS and 60 Minutes, of course it is.
I loved it.
The website highland.gov.uk. The Inverness Courier, of course. The Guardian. You'll love this one. Haggis Adventures.
Oh, nice.
And travelness.com. So, because you're from this part of the world,
I am, yeah.
I am going to need a little bit of your input for this episode.
Okay.
A little bit of your input, like you never input in any episode. But you know this area a lot better than I do.
Yeah, I do. So I'm probably from... The village that I'm from is like an hour's drive north of Inverness. And that's where Loch Ness is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We used to go
that is quite close, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you ever go when you were a little kid looking? Like, do you remember ever... like it being a big thing when you were little and like your parents taking you down there to have a
it's
look?
like one of those things that's like, you know, it's more like a tourist thing that you do. We definitely would go along Loch Ness.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were going along, obviously I was like looking out for all the Nessie signs.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like a thing that we would go and do.
That's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I suppose it's like, you know,
when something's close.
Yeah.
You don't...
Like, I haven't really been to Edinburgh Castle, so...
I've been so many times.
Have you?
Only because I've had lots of people come and visit and they always want to go there.
Yeah,
it is so expensive to go there, though.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, I just send them by themselves now, and I go and get a cup of coffee and say I'll meet you back here in an hour.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So it is worth going to, but yeah, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
So Loch Ness is up north. We've established that. It's about 4 to 5 hours drive from Edinburgh. It's not the top of Scotland. How far would it be from the top of Scotland to Loch Ness, do you think?
Oh, here we go with the distances now. I'm like, oh, well.
At a guess, like if you were driving, how long would it take you to drive from Loch Ness to the very top?
So probably about another 2 hours, I would say.
That's quite far, isn't it?
Yeah. Because the roads get quite bad. It's so remote.
Yeah.
Like you get to maybe like Perth, and then it starts to like everything gets remoter and remoter, and you see like all the heather and the moors and things. So yeah, it's pretty far north though. It's not, there's hardly anyone lives in that part of the world.
That's why the Loch Ness Monster lives there, because it's remote.
Because nobody sees it. Yeah.
So Loch, or how do you say it?
Loch.
Love that. Is the Gaelic word for lake. Or Gaelic. Do you say Gaelic or Gaelic?
It's Gaelic.
But when I say it, it sounds like garlic that you're having for dinner, doesn't it?
I don't say garlic.
But when I say it, see, I can't say it. I have to say garlic. When I say Gaelic, I either say Gaelic or it's garlic. I can't say it.
So funny.
It's so weird.
I was like, fuck.
Because my little boy plays
English.
Gaelic football.
Yeah, okay.
So I always say, are you going to Gaelic?
Yeah.
But what, it comes out garlic a lot of the time, and people are like,
what's
he doing?
Yeah. So, and now I can't say
I
it.
can't say it.
Garlic. So,
Garlic. Garlic.
Garlic. Yay.
But that just sounds like garlic.
It does.
I've said garlic too much. Oh my God. This is going to be a long episode. Now, did you know I've got some interesting facts? Are you ready for this? There are over 31,000 lochs in Scotland.
Oh my God. That's a lot of lochs.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's, wow.
And Loch Ness is the second largest Scottish loch by surface area.
Is it?
After Loch Lomond.
Loch Lomond.
Yes.
You do know.
We're going to have an issue.
It's like a sort of
I feel like I'm speaking French.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like a little sort of French Gaelic.
Say it again. Loch Lomond.
Loch Lomond.
Lomond.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the Robert Burns thing.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that
There's
is
going to be a
either.
lot of Scottish things in this episode. What's the Robert Burns thing?
You know, like,
That was my stomach.
I'll take the high road, you take the low.
Yeah. But what's that got to do with Loch
Oh,
Lomond?
is it not something to do with Loch Lomond?
I don't know.
I'm possibly just making that up.
This is going to be such a long episode. I'm a quarter of the way on one page of 6.
So Loch Ness and then
But-
Loch Lomond, okay.
Yes. But you will get lots of interesting facts about pronunciation
Okay.
and facts about Scotland.
Oh, and this, yeah.
Yes. Right, so let's see what I've written here. Loch Lomond.
Yeah. Lomond. That sounds beautiful. Maybe we should just go for that.
Its surface area is 21.7 miles.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow.
But to show how big it is, you could take every single, this is amazing, you could take every single lake, river and reservoir in England and Wales, combine all that water, and Loch Ness would still have more water.
No.
That is ridiculous.
Wow, so it's so
You could
big.
take every lake in Centre Parks.
Well, yeah, look, it would make up a puddle, I think.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That is a crazy fact.
That is huge.
That
yeah.
doesn't seem real, does it?
That's
Like, it is huge.
So it's such a deep. Yeah. Well, no
Yeah.
wonder they can't find it.
Yeah.
Like it's so deep. Yeah.
That's crazy. You could also take every single person on the planet
what?
and squeeze that massive group of people into the loch's volume 10 times over.
No.
Yes.
What?
You're impressed, aren't you? I might not be able to
is-
speak, but I do have the facts.
That is incredible.
That is incredible.
Oh my goodness, I can't even get my head around that. Wow.
It's
I had no
slightly
idea it was so
terrifying.
deep.
I know.
And big as well, yeah.
So due to its great depth, it is the largest by volume in the British Isles.
Okay.
The deepest point, how deep do you think the deepest point is in metres?
30 metres.
No, are you kidding me? 230 metres.
Oh,
I can't even grasp that.
No, I'm struggling with that.
230 metres deep. That is absolutely terrifying.
Do you know one of the good things that's come out of COVID? You know when they had to do the distancing, and it was like a 2 metre distance.
Oh yeah, everyone knew how much 2 metres were.
I know. I never used to know any distances. Like 2 metres, what's that? I used to do it in feet or whatever. And so now, I'm like, I know what 2 metres is.
No, do you know what mine is? Everyone knows how to wash their hands properly, and no one was doing it properly.
Oh, yeah, that was good. So there's a couple of good things.
Hands properly.
Yeah.
And also, we didn't have to see people or wear a bra for such a long time. That's amazing.
There were quite a lot of good things.
There were so many good things.
Yeah.
There was lots of awful things. We shouldn't joke about that because lots of people died. But there were some good things.
Yeah. A few good things, like the hand washing.
Yeah. So, let's see. Your deepest point is 230 metres, making it the second deepest loch in Scotland. It's not even the deepest loch.
Oh,
I'm going to keep doing that. I can't keep that up.
So is it Loch Lomond that's the deepest?
Morar.
Yeah.
Morar.
Well done. Loch Morar.
I'm getting better at this.
Yeah.
The deepest point there is 310 metres. So it's like almost another 100 metres. I can't figure that out in my head. Can you?
Imagine how cold that is if you fell into it.
You'd never come back up again.
Yeah.
That is so deep.
That is very
If you're kicking a football in there, you're not getting that back.
No, you definitely.
Although they bob on the surface, don't they? So, another fact, because it's so vast and full of so much water, there's a better way to say that, but because there's so much water, it never freezes.
Wow.
That is amazing, isn't it?
I've
actually amazed you.
Yeah, I never thought of that. It's never going to freeze.
Because it gets so cold up there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it must be super cold, but not enough to freeze because there's just so much water.
Because how cold does it get up there in winter?
Like anything from, it used to get down to, like, I think, like minus 27 some winters.
No.
Like really, it would be really, really cold because you're right in the middle of you're high up in the north. And then you're right in the middle of the land as well, so it'd get super cold.
People in Canada right now are going, that is nothing.
Like, what is that? Yeah.
That is crazy.
I mean, not often, but it would, you would get the lochs around where I used to live, they would freeze and you'd be able to go skating on them.
Oh no, I can't do that. That terrifies me as well. Because it just cracks and you're dead.
Well, yeah.
Doesn't it?
I know, but when you're like 5, you don't
know. You die even easier when you're 5. Would you do that? Would you skate when you were little?
Yeah, I used to do that.
No.
Well, you didn't know. Like, I wouldn't know at the time. You just go off and do it.
Bad 80s parenting though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you're 90s. You'd be early 90s, wouldn't you?
I am sadly no, yeah. So
late 80s.
So yeah, I would have been up to 10, yeah.
But you would never let your kids do that now.
No, of course not. I'd be like right behind them.
Absolutely terrifying.
I know.
Oh my God. Okay. So the average temperature of Loch Ness sits at about 5.5 degrees Celsius year round.
Wow, that's so cool.
And it doesn't really change in the summer, which is super weird. But maybe because it's
so deep.
Yeah.
Oh God.
People swim in it all the time for charity events. Yeah, I saw loads of charity events where people had swum. And the first person to do it took 31 hours back in 1966.
What? Did they swim like 21 miles?
I think so.
Oh my goodness, in 5 degrees?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's a day though. It took them over a day to do it.
Oh, that's horrendous.
Can you imagine?
Oh, that's terrible.
It also has an island called Cherry Island that measures 49 metres.
Okay.
They think it was constructed during the Iron Age, but now just looks like a big tree.
Oh.
I can't
so it's
even
like a man-made island.
fathom the Iron Age. I don't, because I'm Australian, that when people say things, I'm like, I don't even understand. There's just back.
Even me, iron.
There's a bit of, you know, what's his name? Henry VIII. Bit
And
of
that's
that.
way
There's a
back.
bit before that. I don't really understand what happened before any of that.
Yeah.
And then there's like forward the 20s, the 60s, whatever.
There was this like
can't
loads
fathom
of
it.
time where everyone was just going about in like rags and like you like hitting sticks together, building little fires.
No, I can't. That doesn't compute in my head that ever happened. Yeah, I'm talking about Loch Ness Monster and I believe in that. Well, we'll get to that. Well, we'll get to that.
Oh.
It also has a castle,
Yes.
which you know about, Urquhart Castle. You can
yeah.
visit it when you go to when you go on a Loch Ness cruise, or you can drive and stop off.
I went on a cruise down Loch Ness once.
Oh.
Do you know what kind of cute cruise it was?
What, a booze cruise?
A belly dancing cruise.
Oh my God, you're
I
so
know.
weird.
I know.
That was the last thing I was expecting you to say.
Yeah, it was quite. I wasn't doing the belly dancing.
Okay.
I was watching the belly dancers.
What is a belly dancing cruise? That's so niche,
know.
isn't it?
It was just these
And
ladies that
In
were
Loch
doing-
Ness, it's not even like in
I know, it was
Dubai
quite
or
cold. Yeah.
Morocco.
It was a bit of a weird one. Yeah.
Are you sure you just weren't on a hen thing?
I mean, I think there was quite a lot of booze involved as well, but yeah, it was definitely belly dancing. There were definitely belly
It's
dancers
so weird.
on the cruise.
I didn't go on the cruise when
Very
we went
good.
there because I'm not good with boats.
Oh
The
yeah.
chair's making quite a lot of noise. I'm not good with boats, but Dan went and my little boy went, and I went
Did
and
they love
sat. Yeah, they loved it. So I went and sat and had a coffee, and actually texted you and said
Yeah.
we should really be doing the Loch Ness Monster. It's such a nice spot. It's where you go to get on the cruise and everything, and you know you get your tickets and you go out and do it.
All right.
But it's a beautiful hotel and it overlooks the whole loch, which is amazing.
I know. It's
So I
beautiful.
just sat and had a cup of tea, and the sun was pouring in the window, and they rang me.
Okay, from the boat.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
rang me on video chat and just
Okay.
yelled at me straight away, "Don't talk, we can't hear anything you're saying."
windy.
And you could just hear all the wind, and their faces were being
no.
blown back and stuff. But it was in the summer.
Yeah, I know, it's just always quite cold. isn't
Yeah. But they loved it.
it? Did they?
They absolutely loved it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just not a boat person. So yes, okay, so more facts. Because the hills surrounding Loch Ness are all peaty,
Yeah.
is that how you say it?
Yeah, perfect.
The water in Loch Ness is really peaty.
Okay.
So when the rain hits the hills, the rain runs down the side of the peaty hills,
Yeah.
and the peaty water runs all the way into Loch Ness.
Okay.
Peat, which is also used in the whiskey making process. And because of this, the water in Loch Ness is very dark and murky.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
So we used to get like peat. So peat is like a sort of, I don't know, I think it's like the like ancient trees and stuff have like disintegrated it. So it's like a kind of earthy thing.
Ah, okay.
And we used to get it in our like tap water. So you'd run the tap water and it would be like brown water.
Oh,
So you'd have your bath and it looked like
no.
you were in a brown bath. Yeah. But it was like really clean
Oh.
because it was just from the loch.
You don't want that, though.
It's probably
Would you drink
looks
it?
nice. I mean, it tastes quite nice.
Do you know, I remember when we were there, I actually asked someone about
Yeah.
the water because it was slightly
Slightly yellow.
yellowy.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, is this all right? And she's like, yeah. And I said, you get asked this all the time, don't you? But
It would
just
be
it's
the
very
colour.
off-putting, isn't it?
It's just the colour of it. It tastes quite good.
It's like a brownie.
It looks like urine, basically.
Oh, that's not as bad as like, I was thinking of like brownie sort of.
Oh, right. Like,
Oh my God, speaking of
Really?
brownie, I got so bird pooed on this week. It was one of the worst experiences
no.
I've ever had. When people say they get bird pooed on, I get it. I've been bird pooed on many times. But I was sitting in the park, Victoria Park.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the park, I had a cup of coffee, and I felt something on me, like
Oh,
a
no.
thud. It was that heavy.
Oh, no.
I should
your
just
head.
say, if you're eating, I'm just going to give you a little warning because this is pretty gross. It went on my head, all over my
Oh.
T-shirt, back and front,
Oh, no.
and on my yoga leggings.
Oh, my God.
It was
What kind of bird
everywhere.
was it?
What the actual fuck? It had something wrong with it. It had eaten something bad. because it was brown.
Oh.
It was absolutely revolting.
Oh, that's
And I
so
knew
bad.
someone that was coming towards me in the park.
Oh,
and she was like,
no.
hi. And I went, no, look. And so she got it out of my hair and stuff.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. It was
And
absolutely
did you have to just walk
revolting.
home and get changed?
Yeah. I had a shower, I had to
Oh.
spray all my stuff, vanish, bit of stain room.
Oh, that's so
It was
bad.
the most revolting thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh, God.
More revolting than when, they're little and they throw up on you and stuff.
Yeah, well, at
It
least
was
it's
far
your baby.
worse. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know
so
why I'm
grim.
telling this story on a podcast and no one needs to know about being bird pooed on. But it was
It's good to know, though.
horrible. And it didn't bring me good luck.
Well, it's
So-
supposed to.
No, it's not. That's what people say when you get pooed on, they feel bad for you.
Yeah, it's to make you feel better.
I bought Euro Millions lottery tickets that night, nothing.
Nothing happens. Oh,
No.
no.
So it's not good. Okay, cracking on. This is good. Controversial English occultist
Oh,
Aleister Crowley lived here.
okay.
So he started a new religion, believed himself to be a prophet.
Okay.
He encouraged people to undergo weird cult rituals.
Oh, no.
He also published a bunch of poems that were later described as the most disgusting piece of erotica in the English language.
Oh, my goodness.
Does that
When
not make
was
you want to
this?
see what it is, though? Like, what's so
No.
awful about it? That
I mean, it must be pretty bad.
it's only
isn't it?
poems, though. It's not like,
When was it that he was around?
oh, I don't know.
Because if it was ages ago, then
It
it's probably
was.
all right.
Yeah, it was like
Victoria.
after the Iron Age.
Okay. After the Iron Age, before the 60s?
I think it was maybe was it Victorian? I feel like it was.
Yeah, it sounds quite Victorian.
Do you know what? Dan would know that because I was telling him this information when I was researching. He's like, oh, yeah, I know all about that. And then I told him the whole
No
story and he's like,
way.
yeah, I know about that.
I've never heard of
So,
that guy.
This guy once lived in a house
Uh-huh.
in Loch Ness,
Oh, no.
right?
Right, okay.
Apparently, Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin
Yeah.
bought the place in the 70s because he was obsessed with this guy
Oh, okay.
and he never actually lived there.
Right, you just
So-
bought it.
Yeah, he bought it. He visited a lot,
Right.
but he eventually sold it 22 years later after he allegedly described it as having bad vibes.
Oh, well, no wonder.
Oh. But if you know that stuff, does that not just, do you know what I mean?
Make
Make
you
you
want
feel
it.
that when you, like if you go
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
you know it's haunted,
Yeah,
does it-
yeah. And
do you
then
not
start
just,
to feel it,
you're jumpy and,
Yeah.
things that you wouldn't panic
I
about?
think some places do just have bad vibes.
Yeah,
don't
I do
you?
as well.
Yeah.
So apparently Crowley used the home. No, apparently,
Oh,
yeah, he used the house, to hold ghost summoning rituals,
oh no.
which might explain why it had bad vibes. And because of there were loads of fires and things there, and there's been a lot of disrepair. The house is now surrounded by
right.
scaffolding, and you can't go and see it.
Ah, right, okay.
But
So
can
it's
you
just-
imagine that?
I mean, that sounds pretty awful. doesn't
Why would
it?
you buy a house and then never? You just don't want to live there. But if you're that rich, if
He
you're part of
probably
Led
has loads of
Zeppelin,
them. Yeah.
yeah, he's probably got
Yeah.
houses like we have, cheese biscuits,
Exactly. He probably got
macaroni pies.
I know. Oh,
Um,
nice.
So Loch Ness sits in the valley of Great Glen, which is the most prominent fault line in the British Isles.
These facts are amazing.
These are amazing facts. Thank you
They
so
are
much.
so good.
I am actually going to get to the Loch Ness Monster very soon.
I'm just enjoying the facts.
Good, I'm glad you're enjoying the facts. So this basically means there's a big fracture in the area's land, and the
Okay.
fracture caused the valley to emerge.
Right. Okay.
So the fault line also means that the area is home to tiny little earthquakes.
Oh.
Amazing.
I didn't know that.
You've never made that noise before.
No, that's exciting. Little earthquakes.
But the majority of them are completely undetectable.
All right.
So you don't even
okay.
know. Have you been in an earthquake before?
Not that I know of. Maybe in an undetectable one.
Mm-hmm.
While I was on the belly
the Loch
dancing
Ness.
cruise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just thought it was a...
It was a part of
Belly
the routine.
dancing.
Yeah.
I've been in one when we lived in Leeds.
Really?
And I didn't know that it was an earthquake.
Oh, was it terrifying?
No, because it happened in the middle of the night.
Okay.
And what happened was the bed actually shook on the ground.
Yes.
And I woke up
Uh-huh.
and Dan was going away for work for a few days the next day.
Yeah.
And of course, me being the panic merchant I woke up and I was like, oh my God, there's a ghost. We've got a ghost.
Oh no.
And he's going away now. And now
Oh,
we've got a ghost
no.
in the flat.
It's like a poltergeist.
Yeah,
ghost as well.
moving the bed.
Yeah.
And then I got to work and everyone was like, how was that earthquake? There was an earthquake last night in Leeds, and I was like, oh,
Thank goodness for that. Yeah. Oh.
So weird. Leeds is the last place you would think.
What did it feel like? Just all of a sudden, just felt like it was
Yeah,
like
the whole
everything
bed
was
just
moving.
like moves.
That
The whole
must
bed
be
shook.
absolutely terrifying.
But because you're asleep and you just wake up, you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I know, but still, imagine being
know.
in like a proper earthquake. That'd be awful.
Imagine if you're walking home drunk, you'd be like, oh, I've had a few too many drinks.
Yeah,
It feels like
hold on.
the earth's moving.
Mhm.
Okay, so the Loch Ness Monster. We're on it. Only half an hour in.
Oh, that's okay. I thought all those facts were amazing.
I mean, those facts were definitely worth listening to
Yeah.
and all definitely 100% accurate.
Absolutely. Well, it was you that did this one, so it's definitely going to be accurate.
So, the first known sighting of what became known as the Loch Ness Monster appears in an ancient text from the 6th century AD.
No.
See, I can't fathom that either. I don't
That
even
was
understand what that
when
is.
they were cavemen.
So, it describes an encounter by an Irish monk, St. Columba, who was staying near the mouth of the River Ness. Columba heard a strange noise and sent one of his companions to test out the river. Of course he did. Of course he didn't do it himself. On seeing the monster, Columba made the sign of the cross and banished the creature to Loch Ness. The River Ness is at the northern end of Loch Ness and flows all the way
Yeah.
to Inverness.
Okay.
So it's that main river bit that
Okay.
flows
Yeah,
into the city of
it's
Inverness.
okay.
But do you know what? I'm always really wary of these things from way back when they think they've seen something
Yeah.
and then they think it's like a witch or like they think it's... Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah,
Because
I
they're all
suppose
so
'cause it was part of-
superstitious.
yeah. It's part of their sort of culture and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
But then if it was a giant...
Serpent.
Do you know what I mean? Like... They over drama. I feel like they over dramatized everything back then.
Well, yeah, and then also against because they didn't have paper.
That's
So you
true.
can't-
They didn't.
And they didn't have pencils.
Yeah.
So
So you're basically saying they couldn't write shit down.
Yeah, so you're just saying it by words, and then it's going to get exaggerated.
Yeah, like
isn't it?
Chinese whispers.
Yeah,
And they make it better each
yeah.
time.
So maybe it was like a snake or something to begin with, and then it's like
A giant
a
snake.
giant one with 3 heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do feel like it's a bit like that. Things went a bit quiet on the loch until the early 1870s
Okay.
when passers-by saw a log-like object wriggling and churning up the water. I don't know why that's
Oh
funny,
my
but it
God.
just is. There followed sightings of a large, stubby-legged animal, a whale-like fish, and a most extraordinary form of animal crossing the road.
No way.
Yes, wait. What I want to know is, if it was a log-like object, I don't know why this is funny, how was it crossing the road? Because it didn't have feet, did it? If it was a large log-like object,
It must
that is
have
such a
like-
hard thing to say.
Like little slithering,
Slithery feet.
slithering log. Maybe a road.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
didn't know that it crossed the road.
Wow, I know. This
What?
really shocked me as well.
Yeah. I didn't know that at
It's
all.
very bizarre. In 1933, so quite
Okay.
a lot of time has passed, George Spicer went for a drive with his wife through the Scottish Highlands. The couple saw a large, unfamiliar creature pass in front of their car and disappear into nearby Loch Ness. Again, it's on the move.
Wow.
wobbling about on its
So
loggy
it went
legs.
on the road as well.
It's maybe on holiday. They later described the creature as having a huge body with no limbs and long neck.
Oh.
So how is it getting across the road? Again, I'm obsessed with this. This is like the dog episode again. I'm just obsessed with like the legs.
yes, yeah.
A few weeks later, a motorcyclist made similar claims describing a prehistoric marine creature with 4 large fins and a long neck. These reported
How big are
sightings...
they?
I don't know. But it's very different. Everyone's saying something quite different,
Yeah.
aren't they? These reported sightings sparked excitement among the general public and drew more visitors to the lake, hoping to catch a sight of what would soon be dubbed as the Loch Ness Monster.
Wow. God,
So-
I had no idea. Yeah.
It's not
So
what
many,
you
like,
think, is it?
sightings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they only just saw it in the water.
Like the big neck picture
Yeah,
that you always
yeah,
see.
yeah.
So, speaking of pictures,
Hmm.
the first photographs were taken that same year by a man named Hugh Gray in 1933.
Okay.
So at this time, in like, I've written photo history, but like at this time, many people like really believed a photograph to be absolute proof of evidence because it was so new. Like you can't have doctored that. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although manipulation techniques were common, the general public was not as familiar with them as they are today.
Okay.
Critics believe Gray's photograph to be a dog swimming with a stick in its mouth instead of the Loch Ness Monster.
What, is that the famous one?
No, but I'm getting to the famous one, I think. Yeah. In fact, in April 1934, the most famous Loch Ness Monster image by Robert Kenneth Wilson was taken. This is the one you always see with like the big long neck and it's coming out of the water. I'll see if I can get a picture of it for our Instagram. The surgeon's photo. That's how
is
it's
that what it's
known.
called?
Yeah, or the Wilson photo. So London-based gynecologist, I don't know why that's important, but I have written it down. Robert Wilson took this image while he was on holiday. So it shows a dark, long-necked object surrounded by ripples.
Yeah,
You can see
I
ripples
know
in the
exactly
water.
the one you're talking. Yeah.
Analysis of the wave patterns around the object indicated that it is about 1.2 meters tall, actually. The version we usually see of this photo is cropped. So the original image, which is much larger, shows the opposite shore of the loch and makes the monster appear much smaller.
Ah, so 1.2 meters.
Yeah.
That's not that big, really, is it?
No. So people
It's
sort
still
of...
quite weird, though.
It is a weird
still
photo.
big,
And
like-
especially for back then as well.
totally.
So people started to think maybe it was a hoax.
Yeah.
And in 1994, 60 years later, after it graced the pages of the Daily Mail,
Yeah.
Christopher Sperling verified the photograph as a hoax
Oh,
by
Why would
admitting
a-
his involvement.
why would a doctor do that?
I don't know.
From London, like, why is he doing that?
Maybe he was really obsessed, like it was his big, like, obsession,
Like,
and
pet
he thought it would
projects.
make him famous, and
Oh,
you know,
well, I
he'd
suppose
be,
it did, yeah.
yeah. So Sperling, this guy that verified it as fake, he was the stepson of Marmaduke Wetherell. How good is that of a name?
Yes. That was
Marmaduke
amazing.
Wetherell. He was a big game hunter who had been hired in 1933 by the Daily Mail to
Yeah.
find the Loch Ness Monster.
Ah, right, okay.
So he returned from his expedition with evidence of enormous footprints leading from the lakeshore into the water.
Right.
But the Natural History Museum researchers
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, then.
concluded the tracks had been made with the dried hippo's foot, which were popular umbrella scents at the time. No!
So they were just going like that. And
Yes.
with, like, oh, wow.
What a little fucker. But that's quite a good call, a hippo's foot.
Yeah, because
'Cause
nobody
that's-
really knows what a hippo foot looks like.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it feels like it would be big enough.
Except the sightings, they didn't have any feet.
That's true, they were just a log.
Yeah.
Or flippers.
I know, they should have just done
I
that.
don't know why I'm doing that. So humiliated, Wetherell retreated from the public after Sperling revealed the photograph as a hoax.
Right, okay.
He explained that Wetherell had enlisted his help to create a model of the monster's neck and place it on a toy submarine. Hilarious. Robert Kenneth Wilson was chosen to give the photograph to the media because of his trusted reputation as a doctor. So that's
right.
why,
Okay.
actually. So another iconic photo is P.A. McNab's photo, taken in July 1955, but not made public until 1957,
Okay.
when it was published in Constance Wyatt's book, More Than a Legend. More
Okay.
than a legend. McNab was, so he said, about to photograph Urquhart Castle when he noticed a disturbance in the water. He
Okay.
quickly changed lenses and took one picture. His son was with him at the time but didn't get to see it as he was busy looking at a car engine. Oh, that's
Okay.
convenient.
And only one picture he took as well.
Yeah. Why did he only take one picture?
Yeah.
The creature must have been unbelievably big. The part of it that shows above the water is more than 18 metres long,
Oh, what?
based on comparison with the castle. And so people think this might be two monsters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's gone from like a log
Yeah.
to two monsters.
And massive ones as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
The creature is also compared to the other dark objects in the photo,
Okay.
but the story became properly undone when the negative was looked at and they found quite a few discrepancies.
Okay. So it was basically just a hoax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the two images differ in the exact position of the castle's reflection.
Okay.
He said he took two photos with two different cameras,
Yeah.
but that doesn't really explain things, as the monster that McNabb says was definitely moving when he photographed it is in exactly the same picture in both.
Ah, right.
So it's just a hoax.
But did he ever confess it was?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another photo, Peter O'Connor's photo taken in May 1960. So the story of this one is that he was camping on the shore of the loch,
Yeah.
got up in the
yes.
early morning to go for a wee. He saw the creature, waded out waist deep into the water and took the photo. He's brave. I wouldn't be doing that.
And also,
Apparently,
it's pretty deep as well. So
yeah.
how tall is he?
So that's maybe like 3 steps and then you're
Yeah.
already halfway up. Apparently he was able to get so close because he trained as a Royal Marine
Oh,
commando.
right. Okay, that's how.
He could walk through water without making a sound.
Oh, really?
But he has often been regarded as a suspicious witness because in 1959 he claimed that he was going to lead an expedition of 60 people kitted out with harpoons, spear guns, machine guns, bombs and a machete to kill the
What?
creature.
Okay.
The image that he took is problematic because the creature appears to be stationary rather than moving forward, as he said.
Another one.
Yeah, and the lighting shows that the flash came from about 4 metres above the water surface.
Ah.
Not close to water level as it should have been.
Yeah.
And
Ah.
that the photo was taken at 6:30 in May, and there's lots of
Okay.
light in the background
Yeah.
when it would have been dark.
Oh, I see.
that time.
Okay, right, okay.
They also discovered 3, now how do you say this? Polythene bags.
Polythyrene.
Polythyrene.
Yeah.
I can't do words today. Polythyrene bags, a ring of stones tied together with a string and a stick that looked exactly like the alleged monster's head.
What, he just discarded it?
What
Decided
a
it-
little fucker. Would you not drive it
I
down the
know.
road and chuck it in the bin there?
Exactly.
Anyway, so we're up to 1983.
Okay.
In 83, there was another photo taken in 1983 and was initially used in some publications as like striking evidence supporting the monster's existence.
Okay.
So images surfaced of the animal with a much straighter neck, and that originated from an anonymous source.
Okay.
Okay. So there have been suggestions that all of them are manipulations of the same image.
All right, okay. So what, is it supposed to be the same creature that's lived all that year?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
Is that even possible?
It's eaten a lot of food. Unless it's had babies, though.
That's just, oh. Oh. That's horrible. Maybe it was the baby. Maybe it was the babies that were crossing the road before they had, like tadpoles.
Oh, maybe.
Before they had grown legs. And then...
And they're sort of just going along with their stomach. Yeah, maybe.
And then it was like a teenager when it's 1.2 metres. And then...
But there's quite a lot of time that's passed in between the photos.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so the photographer that has taken some of these is referred to as Anthony Shields.
Okay.
So Shields was known as Tony Doc Shields. He was a famous Irish psychic entertainer, self-proclaimed wizard of the Western world, author and artist.
Oh, no.
So he's actually associated with several proven hoaxes.
Oh, no, this doesn't sound good.
Including photos of a Cornish sea monster that's called Mogawar.
Okay.
I think that might be wrong. That turned out to be plasticine models.
Oh, no.
So he used these photos to promote a theory about the Loch Ness Monster, that it's a gigantic freshwater. Now, I don't know why I didn't actually do this, spelt out. Cephalopod. Let's say cephalopod.
Okay. It's a sea creature. Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
That has a sort of trunk that sticks out the top of its head and mimics the head and neck of a long-necked water monster. So that's what he thinks it is.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
he's saying it is. But like there are so many other Loch Ness Monster photos and video. There's several land sightings, And
How weird is that?
yeah. And there's been like fossils that have been found and like whale bones, dead conger
really?
eels. I don't really know what dead conger eels are that have been found at Loch Ness. They're just like a prehistoric eel, I think.
Do you not still get conger eels?
I don't know.
I think they're just really big eels.
Are they?
I mean, I could be making that up.
No, I think that probably is. I think that probably is. But sadly, like all the images we've talked about are
They are thought to just be hoaxes.
yeah, and
Okay.
they're sort of like the best of the best photos
right, okay.
that have been taken in history of the
Okay.
Loch Ness monster.
Okay.
And they've all been a bit too problematic or been discovered as a
A little bit
hoax.
fishy, yeah.
Yeah, fishy, a little bit
Yeah, a
fishy.
little bit fishy.
But this is exciting. There
Okay.
have been recent sightings of a new video and photos taken by a married couple from their holiday cottage overlooking the loch who wanted to remain anonymous, but said, and I quote, "It was something large. It was propelling itself with something. You could see it much clearer than it's come out in the photos. The lumps or humps or whatever they are kept disappearing under the water."
No.
What do you think about that?
So do you think it's actually real?
Well, we'll get to that. And they said it was between 6 and 9 metres long.
Right, okay.
So that's still quite big.
Yeah.
I have seen the footage of this.
Of the recent one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is very blurry, as
Yeah.
they always are
Yeah.
with all of these things. But there's definitely something pushing itself along the water.
Because it's quite far out in the loch, right?
Yeah.
So it's quite difficult to get a good picture anyway.
Yeah. And it has like two, it's hard to sort of describe, but it has like two big long lines behind it in like a V shape.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's like it's moving. Something is moving in the water and you can see it in the water.
Yeah.
But it's such blurry footage
Right, okay.
that it's just impossible to see. So
Could be
Gary,
like a otter or something.
it'd
I
be a
suppose
giant
not-
fucking otter though, wouldn't it? Gary Campbell, keeper of the official Loch Ness Monster Register and logging
Oh.
all sightings for the past 26 years.
Wow.
Imagine that as a job. That would be a fun job.
That would be,
Wouldn't it?
because you'd get to check them all. Yeah.
You want to have a real proper interest though, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
You'd not be like, oh, here's another fucking
Here
video
we go
of
again.
a dog swimming. He has commented on the video and said, in terms of video evidence, there have been 2 or 3 really good videos in the past, but this is certainly up there with the best of them.
Oh.
Yeah, Gary's a believer.
I'm going to have to see this.
Gary likes to look at this. There were 16 glimpses of the Loch Ness Monster in 2021.
No way.
Yes way, with one camper sharing drone footage,
No.
which to me looked incredibly convincing, but it could just be a really long fish or eel.
Right, okay.
So it was showing the Loch Ness Monster under the water.
What do you mean?
It was showing it under the water.
Oh,
so
it was swimming underneath the water.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So the
see.
drone was
Right,
above
okay. Yeah.
and it was
you could see
filming
some-
it, something swimming
Ah.
under the water. But I thought that the water wasn't very clear. I thought it was really murky and dark.
I mean, it's like a sort of browny colour, but it
So
is
how can
kind
you
of clear.
see like the shape of something swimming under the water?
I don't know.
Do you not think that's a bit sus?
Yeah, maybe it is. Let's have a look.
I mean, that one, it is a shadow and it's quite far away and it's sort of blurry water.
Have you seen that? You looked at that one as well?
Yeah, I looked
Yeah.
this one up and that was pretty convincing, but it almost seemed too convincing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was recently as well a sighting earlier this year, and this is my favourite thing, which turned out to be escaped alpacas swimming in the water with long neck.
Escaped what?
Alpacas.
Alpacas. Alpacas.
That was actually a thing that happened
Oh my god.
this year. Alpacas. I need to find that photo and I need to get that up on
Oh my god, that is absolutely brilliant.
alpacas. That is so
Yeah,
much
'cause
better
they
than the
do have
log, just
long
like
legs,
blobbing its
don't
way
they?
across the road.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Can you imagine? I read it and then I thought,
Oh,
no.
that's so funny.
But that's so, like,
Can you
Viable.
The person who saw that must have been like, what
escaped
is
alpacas,
that?
where have they come from? Anyway,
Why are they swimming in the loch?
so what could it be?
Yeah, what could it be?
So the plesiosaur,
Mm-hmm.
which is a long-necked dinosaur,
Yeah.
They think it could be a descendant of the plesiosaur. I don't
Okay.
think I'm saying this correctly, by the way. First found in 1823 by fossil hunter Mary. Good on you, Mary. A woman fossil hunter.
Yes.
In the 1823. Where prehistoric reptiles with small heads, long necks, and 4 long flippers.
Right.
So she
okay.
found
She's
fossils and
found the first
evidence.
one. Okay.
And so they think that's the most
In that
likely
area.
thing it could be. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. But then how has it survived for so long?
Well, maybe I'm thinking maybe it was there originally and then it died out. And because it becomes such a thing in the area, people wanted to keep it.
Oh, right. And
Do you
so
know what I mean?
remember, yeah.
So it was maybe there at one point. And if she's found fossils,
Yeah.
it was maybe there at one point, and then people, like it's good for tourism, as these things are. And then all the people that wanted to be famous and they did all their dodgy photos, and then it just kept rolling.
Right. Okay.
And then alpacas got there, and the rest was history. But just a few months ago, paleontologists working in Morocco, yes, we've gone all the way to Morocco, are you impressed, found evidence in the Sahara Desert that plesiosaurs lived in oceans and seas and in fresh water.
Okay.
They found fossils of plesiosaurs in a 100 million year old river system that is now the Sahara Desert.
Oh, wow.
I can't even, that
So it
does
could,
not
it
even
could have,
work in my head.
lived in fresh water.
Yeah. So they found that this group were able to live in freshwater environments, which they didn't think was a
possible.
thing.
Yeah.
Nick Longridge is a paleontologist in Bath and an author, and he did a report on these fossils. So they found teeth, they found bones, they found baby fossils, they found 3-meter long adult fossils.
Okay.
But as a scientist, he says nothing is impossible. They could still find the Loch Ness Monster, but he thinks it's highly unlikely at this point.
Right, okay.
And he's a proper paleontologist.
Yeah, he's like an expert.
Yeah. He knows his shit.
He does know his
Yeah.
shit.
Most scientists do still doubt that any dinosaurs could have survived in Loch Ness because of how deep and how vast it is.
Yeah.
But also, there's not like Loch Ness Monster hunters, except for that one guy that was going out with all the stuff, the bombs and shit.
Oh, yeah. But they need to, there must be a population of them to, breed. It's not just one. And how, surely that would die out, over such a long period.
Yeah.
I mean, they must, yeah. Unless there's, underground caves that they sort of sneak into.
Under the water.
Yeah.
And then they go across the road, talk to their friends, the alpacas.
Yeah.
There's a party going on down here. There's a bit of belly dancing coming around the corner.
Here's the
Woo!
belly dancers.
Get on it. So scientists remain sceptical, putting sightings down to wishful thinking, hoaxes, and actual logs. One professor of ecology has suggested that the images of a tentacled and alien-esque creature could be a whale's penis during mating season.
Oh, my God.
So
Okay.
what
can
they
it be
say
whales?
is that basically all of these sightings could just be a giant dick pic in the wild. And that's the story
Oh, my God.
of the Loch Ness Monster.
Wow. It's celebrated and details everywhere.
And it could just be a giant dick
Yeah,
pic.
the little, those little hats on top of their heads.
Well, my little boy bought a Loch Ness Monster
Hey, Jimmy hats, yeah.
hand warmer
Oh,
when we were there. So you put your hands in it,
yeah.
and it's a giant Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Not quite the same when you know it could be a whale's dick, though.
no. So what do you think?
I don't know. I
You
think
it's just what did exist at some point and then it's just handed on.
possibly.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
a
like the
creepy-
idea of it, though. I do love the idea of it.
Yeah.
And I find it so creepy, the fact that that ocean is so big and
Yeah.
so deep. Freaks
How
me
annoyed would
out.
you be if you were the log keeper and these people are getting photos and you're literally doing that all the time and you haven't
and
seen
you've
it?
still not seen it.
Yeah.
I do think it did exist at one point
Yeah.
because it's been there for so long and it's such a huge, not
Yeah.
ocean, like a huge loch. It's such a huge expanse of water and it's
Yeah.
so deep. We don't know what could be under there, which freaks me out as well. But I don't think it's there now. I do just think, like what we were saying before, that
It was just a story.
It was there, it died out,
Yeah.
and people were just trying to keep it alive. Do you think it was ever there? Or do you just think it was never there?
I don't know how it would survive for so long. Because I don't know how long they live. But that's a long time we're talking.
That is a long time.
How long do whales live? Like, do they live hundreds of years?
I don't know. Do they? Hundreds of years?
I don't
That's
know.
a long time.
260 years?
No, they don't.
I don't know. I'm literally just making that up.
260
No.
years.
I have no idea. Let me see if I can find it.
That's 2 and a bit letters from the Queen.
Oh, yeah.
She's now actually looking
Oh,
up how long
no.
whales live.
Let me just quickly look up how long whales live. I suppose
I
it
like
depends.
to believe in that stuff. I like a little part of me wants it to be real and wants to believe that it is there, but we
Yeah.
just haven't seen it.
So it's a little bit out on my estimations.
Right.
As per always.
Right.
So the oldest one is a blue whale and it can last up to 90 years.
Oh, that's a long
Which is a
time.
long
That's not even a letter
time.
from the Queen.
That's a long time. Yeah, God, and this. Oh no, it says one whale species can even live beyond 200 years of age.
Oh, okay, so you weren't that far off.
Oh, yeah, that was a long time. Yeah, I thought they lived a long time. So I guess maybe, in theory, it could have lived.
I mean,
Oh,
that is
I
a
don't know.
long time.
But
I
yeah,
don't think
they
it's
need to have
there.
babies. And, yeah, I think it's just a good story to tell.
It is a great story, but please still come to Scotland and go looking for it.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful area. It is
It
an
is
absolutely
beautiful.
stunning
Yeah.
area, isn't it?
Yeah, it's worth just going to see the scenery if nothing
Yeah.
else. Yeah. But you might see Nessie.
You might see an alpaca or you might see a giant whale dick
Or a log as well.
crossing the road at night. Oh my
Right
God.
in front of your car. Oh, that was amazing. Thank you so much. I love the facts.
I feel like that was a lot of information about photographs.
That was brilliant though.
But there's not much proper evidence. There's just a lot of hoax photographs.
Yeah. I know, I suppose there isn't, yeah.
I don't think I'd have the energy to do that.
To take loads of
To
photographs.
make up like a whole animal
Oh,
and then
to
let's
do
go
like a-
down, let's take. I'd be like, oh,
right,
that'll
yeah,
do.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't look good at all.
I don't know, it would be quite fun to do. If you fooled loads of people. You'd feel
Yeah,
quite,
I mean, I suppose they had
satisfied.
rewards and things, didn't they? Probably like the Daily Mail, how they were saying they were hired by
they
the
got,
Daily
like,
Mail.
a story with them.
Yeah,
And became famous.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's very interesting. I'll see if I can find some of these photos and I'll get them on Instagram. Let's see if I can find the alpaca pictures as well.
Oh,
That is hilarious. I think that's my favourite thing.
escaped alpacas. That's just absolutely brilliant.
They must have been really good swimmers.
But what were they doing? Swimming?
They were
In the
hot.
freezing
It
cold.
was a hot day.
Yeah, they must have done. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh.
But we would love to know what you think as well. Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster? Or do you think it was there at one point? Please come over to Instagram and let us know at Mum's Mysteries and Murder.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much all from us.
Thank you so much.
This
That was
time.
amazing.
We are going to be back in October with an amazing BooPod collaboration, which we will be telling you more about. But that's going to be early October, and we are very, very excited.
Yeah, that's going to be really good. I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah. I think that's it, isn't it, for now?
It is, yeah. Thanks
So-
for listening.
Thanks for listening. Please send us a review. That would be amazing. You can also email us at mumsmysteriesandmurder@gmail.com and tell us your favourite episode, or you could actually request an episode.
Suggestions, yeah.
We have got a few suggestions, actually. We need to make our way through.
Okay.
And don't forget to hit subscribe, and we will catch you in October in the spooky season for
I
our
know.
amazing collab.
Excellent.
I think that's it.
Exciting.
So until then, bye.
Bye.